What if we told you that Elon Musk is looking forward to building a futuristic city in Texas, and that will cost about $20 billion? Now, $20 billion is not a massive amount for the wealthiest man on the planet, so the chances of this happening are really high. If we begin to talk about Elon Musk, the list would be endless. The man is the reason why Tesla is a huge success today, making it a trillion-dollar company. Today, Tesla is so successful that people are actually considering buying electric vehicles over gasoline vehicles because the performance and range of these electric vehicles are unparalleled in the EV segment, making Tesla the undefeated champion in the electric vehicle segment. You could say the same about SpaceX too, because SpaceX is getting a lot more exciting with so many partnerships with government agencies like NASA, especially for their International Space Station program, and also for their lunar Artemis mission. SpaceX happens to be the partner of both the missions, and that says a lot about SpaceX as a company. SpaceX is also successful in reigniting the interest of humans in space exploration, especially with their reusable rockets that happen to be a part of the game when it comes to the affordability of space launches. Elon Musk is really excited to take us beyond our own planet, but he wants to start all of that from a little city in South Texas. So much so that he's actually considering changing the name of Boca Chica to Starbase City, and this will be the futuristic city that Elon Musk is building for the future of humanity. Musk is very serious about getting this project done, and he did seek expert advice on the legal procedures to get the area officially named as Starbase. This will be Earth's own portal to outer space. You might think this is the first time Elon thought of building a city. Well, then you are wrong. Musk's early ambitions include colonizing Mars, making humans a multi-planetary species. And for that to happen, he founded SpaceX. So among his many ambitious plans, one of them definitely is to build a city on Earth, situated in SpaceX's own South Texas launch site at Boca Chica, and Musk wants to call this city Starbase, Texas. The reason why Elon wants to convert this city into a Starbase city is very exciting. He wants to convert this particular place into a tourist destination, or a place for anybody who wants to work with SpaceX. Moving forward, Elon Musk will be able to convert the city to the point of departure for people traveling to Mars or outer space in general, on those mighty Starship vehicles that are capable of transporting about 100 people at a time to the Red Planet. That might not sound a lot, but if SpaceX could launch multiple Starships a day, colonizing Mars would be relatively easier. Way back in 2014, SpaceX did announce their intention to build a launch facility at Boca Chica Village on the US Gulf Coast after an extensive environmental assessment conducted by the US Federal Aviation Authority. Back in the day, Elon Musk used to launch his Falcon rockets at sites leased from NASA and the US government, along with the Boca Chica site, which happens to be completely owned by SpaceX. Most residents of Boca Chica sold their properties to SpaceX and moved away. But again, few refused the deal, so we still have some people who still live there, and they will be required to vacate their homes during a rocket launch temporarily. Boca Chica is very special because it is the home to Elon Musk's most ambitious space vehicle, the Starship, and Super Heavy, both of which will be launched into space for the lunar and Mars missions. The rocket will be by far the most powerful rocket ever to be built, and it will be the largest one as well. SpaceX is a company that is always ahead of the curve, and unlike small crew capsules that space agencies traditionally are famous for using, the Starship is unlike anything that we have seen before. It's a completely next-generation design standing 50 meters tall and 9 meters in diameter, with much of its internal space as living quarters, and it can also be converted to carry cargo. The Super Heavy rocket will be the one that will take the Starship to outer space, and this one stands at 70 meters tall, and it will be powered by more than 30 Raptor engines, which is also developed by SpaceX in Texas. So the combined height of the Starship and Super Heavy will be about 120 meters, which is almost 10 meters taller than the Saturn V rockets that NASA used to carry astronauts like Neil Armstrong to the moon way back in the late 60s and early 70s. The Starship will also be generating twice the thrust of the NASA's moon rocket, and the best part about the Starship and Super Heavy design, everything is reusable, as both the parts land vertically back on the launch pad at the end of the mission, which is exactly the reason why today's space travel is a lot more affordable than ever before. This particular futuristic city is developing at a faster rate especially when major construction began as early as 2016 and the place was ready for test launches in 2019. This clearly shows that Musk is a very determined and driven individual. The first major test at this futuristic city that Elon Musk is building took place in December 2020 when the Starship launched into the air to test the vertical landing system. It was almost successful, but then it exploded on the launch pad. Then we had 4 more test flights before the 5th of May 2021 until a Starship successfully touched down. SpaceX began referring to their Boca Chica site as a Starbase city way back in March of this year, and the base is now getting ready to launch the first orbital test flight of Starship and Super Heavy. It took about 16 months of additional construction to prepare an orbital launch pad at the site. This also includes a launch table for Super Heavy to sit on a launch tower that will be lifting the Starship onto the Super Heavy and hold the giant rocket in place before ignition, and a tank farm containing fuel and other liquids that will be pumped into the rocket just before the launch. Interestingly, you will also find a giant set of arms attached to the tower, and Elon Musk calls it Macazilla. This will literally catch the returning Super Heavy rocket and stabilize it as it makes its soft landing back onto the pad. Nonetheless, the Starbase is undoubtedly one of the most important launch sites on the planet, mainly because it will be from this launch site where the spacecraft that will return the astronauts to the moon once again will launch as part of NASA's Artemis project that will be putting the first woman and a man of color to the south pole of the lunar surface. This time, we will be visiting the moon with better technology and the astronauts will spend more time on the lunar surface. This lunar mission happens to be part of the $2.9 billion contract that was awarded to SpaceX earlier this year, and this will be the first step towards exploring the solar system and what lies beyond. The arrival of SpaceX in the Boca Chica village actually improved the area. Most of the properties surrounding the launch pad were bought by the company. Musk is not just thinking about the expansion and development of his companies, he's also working on the future city of Starbase by providing a public drinking water service that the area still does not have yet, as well as a natural gas plant to generate energy which will be used for SpaceX's factory. Elon Musk is also planning to add a second landing pad to this futuristic city, along with an additional orbital launch ramp with its integration of towers, a structural test stand for the Starship Super Heavy system, and new tank farms. Elon is very much determined about making Texas his base of operations, and he also moved into Texas with his family towards the end of 2020. This makes a lot of sense because there will be easy access to natural resources and few potential state and local incentives. The proximity of this large new city to the US Gulf Coast makes it an ideal site for the development and launch of its rockets. The judge's office in Cameron County, where Boca Chica is located, confirmed Elon Musk's plans to create a futuristic city. SpaceX officially approached Cameron County regarding Elon Musk's interest to incorporate Boca Chica Village into the city of Starbase, Texas. We don't have the city of Starbase yet, however, local authorities cautioned that Musk would need to make a formal request before the incorporation process could begin. So transforming the village of Boca Chica into a city of Starship, Texas will be another ambitious goal of Elon Musk for his space exploration goals. Undoubtedly, Texas happens to be the site of choice for all Elon Musk's future projects. In addition to the rocket launch test center in Boca Chica, which he will end up converting to Starbase City. SpaceX will also have another rocket test facility in the city of McGregor, and Musk also plans to build a mega Starlink product manufacturing plant in Austin, the Texas state capital. So it's clear that Elon Musk not only wants to take us to Mars and beyond, but is putting all his efforts into creating a futuristic city in South Texas. Let's hope that the Starbase futuristic city does happen very soon, because that will be a massive move for the space exploration industry and for humanity in general. Elon Musk also wants the Starbase city to have thousands of residents in just a few years, and is also planning to hire engineers, technicians, and so many other employees for very specific roles. So Elon is very serious about Starbase City, and we could feel that excitement with all the things that he does with SpaceX.